Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Asterisk the next morning. When the sun rose above the bamboo grove, I quietly went to my grandmother's small house at the end of the village. She lived alone, rarely stepping out of the door, her eyes always filled with sadness, as if containing something that could not be put into words. I pushed open the creaking wooden door. The house only smelled of cigarette smoke and half-dried leaves. My grandmother was sitting at the corner of the table, her trembling hands fingering each wooden rosary, her eyes looking pensively out the window. Grandma. I called softly. She looked up, her eyes dull but shining with recognition. John, you finally came. I knew you would come. That sentence sent a chill down my spine. Grandma, did you know about Emily being marked? She sighed, nodded. I saw it. Before she was born. The blood of your family has always been the chosen one. Shadow never gives up. I was shocked, my heart pounding. What do you mean? For generations, our family has been forced to sacrifice. She nodded, her eyes dark. Yes, that ritual started with our ancestors, when the village was first founded. They begged the darkness to save them from the plague. Shadow agreed, but in return, each generation had to sacrifice a child. I felt my whole body go cold. No, I won't let Emily be taken away. I will save her. She looked at me for a long time, then smiled sadly. Do you think that in all these generations, no one has ever tried to do that? All those who opposed disappeared. But if you really want to save Emily, there is only one way. You have to break the ritual. You have to face Shadow directly. I asked tremblingly, how? She slowly stood up, took out an old wooden box from the drawer. In the box was a rusty knife, the blade engraved with spiral symbols. This was the knife of the ancestors, used in the sacrificial ritual, but it was also the only thing that could weaken Shadow. If you are brave enough, take it with you. But remember, it can only be used when the full moon is at its highest. It is useless before or after. I held the knife, feeling as heavy as carrying my fate in my hands. If you use it, will Emily escape? She shook her head, not sure. Ritual has been cursed for too long. Once a child is marked, it is difficult to remove. But at least you have a chance. The only chance. I hugged the box, my heart filled with determination. But then, my grandmother held my hand, her eyes shining with pain. John, you must know one thing. It was me, back then, who offered my son, your father, to Shadow. Otherwise, the whole village would have died in the famine. I have lived until now only to bear that sin. Don't let you repeat the same mistake. I was stunned, as if struck by lightning. It turned out, my father did not die of illness, as my mother had said, but was sacrificed. I screamed, tears welling up. Why did you do this? She trembled, her voice choked. I had no choice. Ritual has bound us all. Those words echoed in my head all day. I returned home, looking at Emily innocently playing with her straw dolls. I saw the twist on her neck spreading, now spreading too. Her shoulders, she was still smiling, but there was something strange about that smile, as if it no longer belonged to my sister. That night, I sat on the porch, watching the moon rise. I clearly heard footsteps outside the alley, then a familiar whisper, Emily. Ritual. Shadow. I shivered, tightening my grip on the knife in my hand. I knew the decisive moment was approaching. But I also knew I couldn't fight alone. I needed an ally. The only person I could think of at that moment was the old man guarding the ritual that I met in the basement of the abandoned house. I decided to return to that place the next morning, find him, and force him to tell the whole truth. Otherwise, I would never know how to defeat the shadow that had haunted this village for hundreds of years. I looked at Emily, sleeping soundly, her lips still moving slightly as if she was talking to someone in her dream. I knew that my sister was sinking deeper and deeper into the arms of the haunted shadow, and I only had a few days left to save her. What the old guard was about to reveal could be the last ray of light, or it could be the door that opened to the abyss of hopelessness with no way out. If you want to know what secret the old man revealed, watch the next episode.